My name is Muriel Neely, and I live in Mount Vernon right now. I was born and raised in Skagit County, born in Mount Vernon, grew up for the most part of my early childhood on Sandwich Island, got a scholarship and went on to nursing school and went to General Hospital of Everett School of Nursing, and it was 4 years wrapped into 3, and I put myself through that school. I worked for $1 an hour, and that was enough to buy white socks and bare necessities. At the hospital, after 6 months or so, it was nurse's aid type stuff because we were training, of course, to be professionals. And that day did arrive, and I graduated, took my state board exams and passed them, and worked as a professional RN for almost 50 years. This is a small display of the medical community as it was a long time ago in Skagit County. I happen to have been part of that. A picture of myself setting up for an operating procedure at the old Memorial Hospital that was in Cedar. I don't know what it is. It's no longer a hospital. And then the evolution of nursing and medicine in Skagit County. Doctors used to make house calls. That was routine. And they did have their little black bags. This is a little round bag, whatever. And they carried different emergency supplies. And it was just routine to make house calls and day or night. And nurses always wore white. And they wore white shoes and white stockings. And no longer is that the mode now that people wear scrubs or whatever, which makes sense because you can throw it in the wash and not have to wash and starch a white uniform for every day.
Why did they wear white?
It just was tradition, I guess. When you went to nursing school, each school has its own cap. Nurses don't wear caps anymore. But each school had their own cap, their own uniform, and the nursing school that I graduated from had gray dresses with white aprons and white bibs and starched white collar and cuffs. And it was a big thing come graduation when we got to wear white. In the nursing part, it was just a part of the times. As when doctors made house calls, we just took care of people. And it's very different from, say, telemedicine. It's brand new to me. I can see the advantages, but when I worked in family practice for years and years and worked with many of the local doctors, both in the hospital and in private practice, that was very exciting. We did not have a migrant program at that time, And a lot of people came up to work from the southern states or Mexico to work in the fields, and who would take care of them? And they had very little, and they had a family to feed, so that was a priority to, make sure that they could feed their children. So one family practice that I worked at for many years, after work, 5 o'clock or whenever we finished, we would pack our cars with medication samples, various ones, and we would go out to the migrant camps to take care of people that needed medical care and couldn't afford it, and were very proud people. And I really learned how important it was to preserve someone else's dignity. It's just very important. And became well acquainted with several Hispanic families who've been in the valley for a long time. And they used to bring sick people to us because they knew that they'd get care. And so looking back, I'm very proud of that part of my life. As to the transition to social work, I worked for a specialist for a year, and it wasn't the same. Times changed, medicine changed, nursing duties changed, and then I was hired to do social work. Well, it was a good lateral move, really, skill-wise, but I had to go back to college, so I did. And I went to the Eastern Seaboard, and it's a different culture. Prophet the U, one time years before, had said, if you ever continue your education, go back east or the Midwest and be out of our own little private pocket of Puget Sound. And that was a big part of the education. Met lovely people and just got a different perspective on things. So I grew, and emotionally, that because my horizons were broadened, and finished that schoolwork and got my credentials, and then I supervised social workers in the 5 North counties doing crisis intervention with families and children. And I don't know how I survived it, but I grew some more. But I got very tired. My husband threatened to shoot the phone one night when it kept ringing because it was a 24-hour job. It was 24/7, and in the daytime then I taught social workers how to be social workers. And it was exciting. I found my love for teaching, although when I look back, I've taught since nursing school. I always teach patients and families, and I just didn't know it then. But
Very good.
it's very interesting, and then I was married after college, and we have 4 children, and I had cribs and diapers and baby clothes, and social workers decided if I was going to be a stay-at-home mom for a few years, why, I could take babies from newborns from the hospital and nurture them and love them until they were adopted out. And so it was just, we said, okay, we got the heart, we got the love, And we got the diapers and the cribs, so it just evolved into it.